How you guys doing? This is Alec from Bearded Collectibles here with Tony and Joe. We're doing our weekly card reviews. Joe has picked a card this time. It's right here. And we're going to talk about it, discuss it, give it a rating at the end of the day, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and go from there. So, Joe, by all means, if you want, you can flip it.
My favorite guy of all Final Fantasies is the Final Fantasy VII villain, Sephiroth. But we're not doing the 8-drop Sephiroth because we know he's good. We're doing the 5-drop Sephiroth. So, just if you guys don't know what he does, he's a 5-cost, 7,000. He's got first strike, and when he enters the field, each player discards 2 cards. Let's kind of go through this real quick. So he's a 5 for 7. That's a little high on the curve. I mean, normally we want to see 3 for 7, 4 for 7, Vincent and Terra kind of stuff.
Furion.
And Furion, yeah,
Sure.
and Furion. So 5 for 7 is a little high, and he's got this weird cost of discarding 2 cards each. So you can combo that in specific ways. We'll get to that in just a second. But the cool thing is, like, making them discard cards is making them really kind of rethink the game. Like, they may be holding a cloud that they want to use to use with Light Cloud to break one of your forwards next turn. Well, now we have to discard both cards. And now he has to discard, like, whatever his hand is. A lot of the time I'm just, like, asking him, like, what's your hand size? What's your hand size? Oh, you've got 2. Okay, well, now's a good time to do this. One of the cool...
only have 3. It's just sure.
Yeah, three's still worth it. So he's like, well, you got to make a decision, and I love playing decks where, like, I make them have to answer a question. Say, like, all right, well, you're gonna discard 2 cards. You figure out what 2 you're gonna do, and then we're gonna figure out where to go from there. So the reason I like this card so much is because you're playing him, you can use the whole mechanic of discarding cards to pay CP to play him. So say you've got one backup out, it's early in the game or something. Maybe they overextended a little bit. They destroyed like half of their hand. They've only got 2 cards left. I mean, it's early game that's possible.
Sure.
So you've got one backup out, and you've got 3 cards, one of them being Sephiroth and 2 other cards. Well, you pay your one ice backup, and then you discard your 2 cards that you normally would have had to discard for Sephiroth's ability. So now you have no cards other than Sephiroth, and you play Sephiroth. Well, you can't discard 2 cards, and they discard their 2 cards, or 2 of their 3, however it is. But now you've got a first strike with a 7K. They don't have a hand. Sure, you don't have a hand either, but it's worth it because you paid for it with mana.
You chose what you discarded. They didn't.
Yep.
They had to get rid of their stuff.
They had to kill their hand. For potential combos, I really like putting him with Duke Larg, the Ice Duke Larg, to give him an 8K. Because 8K is so good. Like 8K counters
8K first strike.
8K first strike just destroys Light Cloud. It's just okay. This rare right here is just gonna kill your legendary cloud.
And it's outside of Odin range, the 4-drop.
Yep.
I also like how 7K is like whatever, but 8K is like I gotta deal with this guy now. What am I doing? So that 1K is pretty relevant with Duke Larg.
So you can do it with Duke Larg. You can do it in Earth with like Monk or Kefka if you wanted to, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not Gollum. The other Earth. Earth Summit is Gollum. The plus 2,000, plus 4,000.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, with Gollum. Anything like that. So of course it's Sephiroth. It's my favorite card or favorite person in all of Final Fantasy. So I'm happily enjoying playing 3. I've got a deck built around this, combined with the new promo Sephiroth that just came out. Guys, what do you think?
I'll let you go first, Tony.
Sure. So I think the card's cool. The 7K, like I was saying, for first strike, he beats a lot of little guys. We see how much of a hassle it is with guys like Furion. People talk about playing the AK Sephiroth. Sure, he breaks a backup, but he sits there with first strike. I put it that way because I was talking. When you talk, you turn it that way.
Sure.
Anyway, I like what Joe was saying. Like if they're down to 2 or 3 cards, now they're picking 1. It also makes them go into their turn like top decking. Putting somebody in top decking mode is worse than them going into themselves. Like not only just as far as the game state goes, but like mentally, because then they know they're top decking not by their own choice. And then my last thing with this card, Joe didn't want to tell a secret. He plays it with Tama. So he's like, oh, you played something, and then get rid of the rest of your hand. Then it goes on to his turn, and he draws 2, and he's safe going into with a hand, which is pretty dope. I like that trick a lot.
So, me, for example, not a fan of this card. Simple fact that you have to start discarding cards from your hand, not a fan of. Cool, he's definitely outside of Odin range, a 4-drop. He's 5 for 7, first strike. But I'm not a fan of that card. I'm not a fan of discarding stuff from my hand. Now, if I have no hand, like how Joe plays it, cool. But I don't know. I mean, it's just not a fan of. I don't like to lose cards. I understand the aspect of it. I understand the tactical portion of it. But I think there's such better cards out there.
So the 2 decks that I run them in are Earth Ice for the Tama combo, Tama or Monk combo, or Earth Water, because I can just kill my hand and then I can Moogle it to start getting cards back. Moogle or Geomancer, the other.
They're both foil, by the way.
Backup. Yeah, I've got 3 foils. I got my 3rd foil from the newest box that we just opened up. I absolutely love it. I do. Anything else you want to say, Alec, before we go to ratings?
No, I mean, I'm not a fan of the card. I mean, do you play 3 of in a deck or 2 of?
Mostly 2.
Okay.
Unless it's comboed around this, unless I'm using the new promo Sephiroth that has a special ability.
Oh, then definitely.
Then
yeah.
I have to run 3. But otherwise, no, it's a 2 of.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same boat with that aspect.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, Tony. You got anything else to say about this card?
Before we go to ratings,
It's pretty straightforward. It does what it does.
as far as ratings, I'm going to give him a 6. I mean, he's high cost. He's got an interesting ability. The first strike in 7K is good. He's right where I'd want to be for like a rare status. Nothing. He's absolutely not a 7 or an 8. He's not god tier. But you can work him into your deck or build a deck around him and have a lot of fun with it.
That's something we didn't talk about our first card review, because I'm going to agree with him that he's definitely a rare, which is obviously we know is uncommons. Yeah, he's definitely in the spot he needs to be in. I do believe he is a 6, maybe a 5.5, but a 6 around that frame. Yes, I agree with you on that.
Cool.
I'm gonna give this guy 2 ratings. As a standalone card, I'd give him like a 2. Like he's like almost awful. But if you play the deck with him in mind, like discard, hand control, ways to combo him, and obviously other guys, you can't build a whole deck in this game about 1 card. This card has potential to be at least an 8 if the whole deck's around it. But that holds him back a lot because you can't just throw him in an ice deck and say, cool, I'm playing Sephiroth. Like Joe's deck has in mind that at some point he's going to bring us both down to 0 cards while he's ahead, which makes this card good. But if you throw this in an ice deck and hope it's going to do something for you, it's not. It's going to make you lose your own game.
Very good.
All right, guys, so bear with us. We're going to switch out cards. Stay tuned for the next card review on Bearded Collectibles.